let's conclude our series of considerations on AI, culture, education, theology, and ethics by turning back to the digital, written, and oral culture model. And I would like to propose some of educational methodologies that could help us to deal with this digital revolution we are in. So, after speaking about implications of AI in different fields, in magisterium of the church, faith, ethical questions, and also the bias and the cultural colonization of AI, let's see some aspects of practical nature about pastoral ministry education. So we could use some strategies to deal with these issues we already have seen in the first and second video. So we have this digital culture, and AI is a part of it, and it reinforces and fosters some kind of attitudes and is working in a certain type. So for me it's important to consider the anonymous nature of interaction there is, and if we acknowledge that our digital culture is pretty anonymous, it's creating a virtual type of approach to text and to communication, also a very like consumer-based, entertainment-based relationship with media. And the text and the flow of information is very changing, rapid, and it doesn't have the stability of a book, of a text, or of a tradition in oral culture. So these tendencies are showing their effects in some cultures in a stronger way, because if you have an individualistic culture where maybe in a context of a big city in Eastern Asia, I don't know, in Japan, in Korea, when you have the problem of hikikomori, of people that refuse to have social contact, and you reinforce the digital world and presence and communication, it doesn't work. You have to balance it somehow, also in education. So you have to use methodologies that reinforce collective approach to life, to education. And also the written culture, with its characteristics of analytical, critical type of thinking and the stability of text, could help to balance the impact of digital media on the young generation. So in that sense, the digital needs an integration with human group, and not only being in a group in a classroom, but to have significant relationships with other people, also intergenerational. So all the methodologies of cooperative learning could be very useful to deal with also with digital content and with experiencing that reflect digital content. Also, the digital media could be confronted analytically, critically with solid textbooks, solid knowledge, because the AI, as we have seen, was trained on a large amount of data that reflects the human interactions in our age, but it's a low quality data mostly. So we have to develop a critical sense, and a critical sense that it is based on solid knowledge. Of course, also the written culture and the oral culture, the communitarian culture of narrativity has to be integrated together. So there are some methodologies that could help us to deal with the educational challenges in our age. Like key educational approaches could be, I give you some examples only. It's useful for us to also to deal with digital media education, to speak about digital media and to describe it in a critical way, because the younger generations and the digital natives, they are living the dynamics, but they don't have a critical separation from the object. They are inside the conversation almost continuously. So the challenge is addressing cultural biases, also the dopamine addiction that is there in consuming media, social networks, some game design that is leveraging this dopamine addiction. Also the impact of generative AI. And in order to develop some skills, critical analysis, discerning different biases, making examples, and navigating digital content responsibly. Also, another methodology in learning and teaching could be service learning. It's more based on reinforcing the community approach. So it's leveraging the oral culture. So integration of digital and written academic content with real-world applications in a community setting. So it's about project learning, when you learn in order to make a practical proposal, a project that tends to be applied in the reality and gives you a real life feedback on your actions. So the benefits could be fostering critical dialogue, also the community engagement, to engage with people which are from different maybe cultural contexts or different generations. You cannot control the output. Also, it could be integrated with some reflective digital or written journaling in order to process our experiences in real life, in digital life, with our study. In this very hectic and rapid time we are living in, it's useful to write down, also physically, to have this exercise of calming down, slowing down, and reflecting up and creating memories. Also, many of digital dynamics and content and products are using the logic of games, of entertainment. So it could be interesting to leverage those contents and those experiences in a cooperative way. So the objective would be mitigating digital individualism. So especially with gamers, it's also many times, if there is a multiplayer mode in the game, it's only a very virtual kind of relationship and functional to the dynamics of the game. So it's pretty individualistic. Me in front of a display, promoting social interaction. So like speaking about those experiences. Methodology would be utilizing games and digital content to enhance collaboration, exchange, social skills, and critical thinking. So I think it's important for us in our age to be, first of all, to be formed ourselves to a responsible use of AI and of the digital content and media, and then engage in significant conversations about the AI, also studying many resources that are coming out, and also exchanging and talking among ourselves about these issues, because many times we acknowledge the challenge, but everyone has its own approach with dealing with it in his sector of educational or pastoral work.